New York Giants fans, I couldn't come to you on Monday because the sky was falling. Everything was wrong, and this team is this, and this team is horrible, and everybody sucks. I couldn't come to you on Tuesday because it was still too visceral. Wednesday, it started to chill. Thursday, today, we have a game. And on top of that, I felt like I needed to come and kind of put a bow on last week and get you ready for what's to happen this evening. I'm Coach Gene Clemons, and I have a giant issue. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of A Giant Issue. I am Coach Gene Clemons, New York Giants on the S side. That's where you get all of your New York Giants news and information from. I'm coming to you from the cave, right? My football office. Wanted to be able to touch base with you guys and talk a little bit about last game, week 5, and move on to week 6. I know this might sound crazy to some people, but I throw the baby out with the bathwater in week 5. I know every wide receiver sucks here, right? Every wide receiver sucks here. There's no talent. There's no anything. This team can't develop talent. Like, what are all of the crazy things that I've heard so far? Okay. DanielJones is now Patrick Mahomes. And he is so good. And the only reason he was ever bad was because this team doesn't know how to develop talent. Never mind that DanielJones had 3 different head coaches in his time, which means he's had several different offensive coordinators, quarterbacks, coaches, people who have had the opportunity to work with him, who have had success with other quarterbacks in the past, but somehow put this on the Giants. Don't put it on DanielJones, right? Don't blame DanielJones for him not pushing the ball downfield, for him holding on to the ball too long. Blame the Giants for that, right? Blame the Giants. You want to know what really happened to DanielJones and why DanielJones is having success this year? I'll give you a hint. And all credit, by the way, is due to DanielJones. This is all credit for DanielJones. The Giants decided they didn't want him anymore. So then they released him. He went to Minnesota. He had a chance to be in Minnesota. Minnesota knew that they were getting rid of Sam Darnold, that they were going to have J.J. McCarthy, and they still didn't want him to be the backup to J.J. McCarthy. So then he finally lands with Indy, who has a shaky situation with quarterback because they don't really believe in the quarterback who's there. He gets the opportunity, and in his mind, and this is me, by the way, this is me projecting what's in his mind. In his mind, he has to be going, well, the Giants didn't want me. The Vikings didn't want me. Okay, this might be my last chance at a real legitimate shot to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Let me not screw it up. Let me go out and do all of the things that I would not do when I was a Giant, like throw the ball down the field, like not hold on to the ball too long, like just take what the defense is giving me, live to fight another day. That's all he's doing, right? That's all he's doing right now. He's not doing anything special. He's not reinventing the way that quarterbacking is played. He's just doing the minimum of what's asked of a quarterback when he's a starter. And yet somehow I'm supposed to apologize because of what I saw his entire career in New York? Absolutely not. You people are crazy. Shout out to him for making the necessary changes in his game to get better. Oh, by the way, he's also just not a young rookie. Like, there's something that happens when you're a veteran and you've been pushed around. a few times. We saw it happen to Baker Mayfield. No success, no success, no success. Then finds the Bucks and is reinvigorated. Why? He's on a better team, a more stable organization, and he knows this is my last legitimate shot to be a starter. Right? Sam Darnold, no success, no success, no success. Gets on to Minnesota, gets a chance, balls out. Why? Stable organization, more weapons. This is my last chance to be a starting quarterback in this league. It's not brain surgery on why these guys are having success. They've always had talent. No one ever said Daniel Jones wasn't talented. They said that between the ears, Daniel Jones wasn't getting it done. Now he is. But let's not act like he's out here having an all-time great season. He's not. He's not the catalyst for that offense. The running game is. And this is what happened with him in 22 in New York. Everybody gave him the credit for that season and not Saquon Barkley. They gave him the contract extension, the big money, and they poo-pooed Barkley. And so now, ever since then, I've had to hear all of this saga about how Barkley's not that great and he's not that good and all this other stuff. And so now I've got to still hear Barkley talking and lying, adamantly lying, talking about he would have signed here for 10 and 12 million if things were done differently. Man, if you don't stop with all that lying out here, there's no reason for us to have to lie. Saquon Barkley wanted to leave because Saquon Barkley felt disrespected in New York. Saquon Barkley wanted to leave because Saquon Barkley felt like there were other teams that had better chances to win than New York. Saquon Barkley did not leave because I was like, they don't know. He was petty. He was spiteful, right? He should have been. They didn't want to pay him. But don't blame John Mara. I hear people trying to blame Mara. Oh, Mara didn't trade him when he wanted to be traded. Ladies and gentlemen, John Mara never wanted to get rid of Saquon Barkley. So why would he trade him? You ever see a marriage where, and it's usually the situation where the woman wants out the marriage and the man won't let her out the marriage. He won't sign. They have to go through a lengthy process to get divorced because the man doesn't want to get divorced. And everybody's just like, hey, man, if she wants to leave, just let her leave. No. I don't want to be divorced. I love this woman. I want to be with her for the rest of my life. I really meant it when I said, for better or for worse. To me, this is for worse. We can get by it. John Mara loved Saquon Barkley. John Mara never wanted to get rid of Saquon Barkley. So why would he approve him going out and seeking a trade? Why would he approve that? He never wanted to get rid of Saquon Barkley, right? But once you franchise tag Saquon Barkley, and then the next year you're not going to franchise tag him again because you don't want to pay that type of money in a single year for a back. Now he is at the mercy of his GM to do his job. And that is where Joe Schoen let Mara down, because Mara didn't want Barkley gone. Joe Schoen wanted Barkley gone because he thought he could just reinvent Barkley in some other form for less money. He found out he was wrong. Scatterbo ain't Saquon Barkley. Tyrone Tracy, he's not Saquon Barkley. Devin Singletary, wear 26 all he wants, he's not Saquon Barkley. But do I believe that Saquon Barkley was going to sign with the Giants for $10 million? You are bugging. No way. He wanted to be paid because he wanted to be respected like one of the best running backs in the league. And you can't be respected like one of the best running backs in the league if you're making $10 million a year. You're expendable. He wanted to be paid like Christian McCaffrey because in his mind, he's better than Christian McCaffrey. And guess what? He might be right. He's just not used or utilized the same way that Christian McCaffrey is, but he is every bit as good as Christian McCaffrey is. That's what soured the relationship. If they would have came in and said, hey, Saquon, we got $17 million for you. You think Saquon's in Philly right now? Absolutely not. I don't care what his documentary says. I don't care what they say out loud. Money talks. BS runs a marathon. We got to just stop with the lies. We turned a bad day for Darius Slayton into his worst outing ever as a pro. Are y'all kidding? Y'all do remember this is the same Darius Slayton that all of you wanted to cut in 2022, who had to sit through the first couple of games of 2022 until other wide receivers got hurt in front of him before they finally gave him his shot. And then he went out there and balled TF out. That's the same dude that you're saying he had his worst day because he didn't come down with a deep ball that he had to die for after fighting off a defensive back. It was a great ball. It was placed perfectly. But that doesn't mean it was an easy catch because it was a great ball. A great pass by a quarterback does not mean an easy reception by a receiver. And that's when I know that a lot of you guys have never played football before. You've never played receiver before. Because if you watch the play, and I've clearly watched it, he's running down the field. He's open. There's a safety trying to close the distance, and he's trying to hold off the safety, create the separation to be able to come up with the pass, right? He does that. Then in the last minute, because that's what he's supposed to do, he reaches out and dives for the ball. He does not come up with the catch. Would you like him to come up with the catch? Absolutely. Do the greats come up with that catch more often than not? Absolutely. Is that an easy catch? Nope. Many of you guys probably could not catch a 50-yard pass with nobody on the field if we just threw it and you had to catch it. 50 yards tracking the ball while running is a lot more difficult than what you guys make it out to be. And yes, it's easy for pros, but when you add in extra bodies, no. So if you want to call that a drop, cool, call it a drop. It was a drop. I'm good with it. The fumble was a product of him trying to do too much. He caught the ball. He thought he could spin back, get extra yardage. That is an effort fumble. As a coach, you go to the guy, you go, hey, know when the battle is over. Get down, keep us safe. You don't dog cuss him over that. Because you can say a lot of stuff about him dropping the ball. How many fumbles does Darius Slayton have in his career? I don't recall a lot. I'm sure you guys will tell me, and then I'll go and get the real numbers from the internet, right? Because we all have it. But Darius Slayton's not known as a fumbler. So that's an anomalous turnover. That is something that I would not expect to happen anymore. Where are all these other drops that you guys keep putting on him? I've watched this film 5 times. I watched it live. Then I watched it right after the game was over with. I watched a quick cut up. Then I've watched all 22 3 times as I've done different work, getting ready for this week and wrapping up last week. I do not see all the other drops that you guys keep putting on him. He barely played in the second half, He had a hamstring injury. He was targeted 5 times. So all of you people who are like, yeah, look, they treated him like Malik Neighbors and he didn't do anything. No, they didn't. He was targeted 5 times. Malik Neighbors has been injured and not been able to continue. They threw him the deep pass. Yes, they did. He didn't come up with it. Malik Neighbors does not come up with every deep pass, although I do believe he would have caught that one. I don't have anything to substantiate that truth, right? I just believe that he would have been able to catch it. But for what he did in that game, it's kind of what you wanted. You could tell that the game plan was to get the ball in the hands of the tight ends. They had all of these tight ends active. They were running RPOs with the tight ends. They were running screen passes for the tight ends. Bo Collins comes in. Bo Collins does what a guy that you just inserted, who's a rookie, in his first ever action as a pro does. He didn't have the greatest showing. Does that mean he sucks? Hey, listen, Bo Collins was not on my keep him on a 53-man roster. I heard a lot of you people out there saying, ooh, Bo Collins, he's big, he's this. I saw way more talented receivers out there that I would have kept. Way more. So you can't one week say, oh, Bo Collins is great, he's underrated, and then in his first outing ever as a pro where he gets significant time, when he doesn't have the greatest showing, go, oh, all our wide receivers suck. Now Jalen Hyatt, not Jalen Hyatt, now Wan'Dale Robinson catches strays because now apparently he sucks. And I'm sitting back going, wait a minute. This is the same Wan'Dale Robinson that was catching deep ball touchdown passes from Russell Wilson. This was the same guy who was catching seam balls from Russell Wilson, and he was able to haul him in after getting absolutely obliterated by a defender. Now he sucks. You people are bugging. The overreactions to this loss, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was this bad. Ladies and gentlemen, they turned the ball over. They turned the ball over 5 times, many of which was in enemy territory where they were driving to put up points. And they still only lost by that margin. How could you possibly think this team is as bad as it was last year? Last year, that would have been a 40-point blowout. If the Giants had turned the ball over 5 times in the game last year, right? If they had turned the ball over 5 times in a game last year, it would have been a 40-point blowout, a 50-point blowout. It would have been a laughter. It would have been a laughing stock game, right? If this is 2024, if this is 2023, and that happens, it doesn't matter against who. But let's just say the Saints. But it doesn't matter who. If that happened last year, then guess what? It's a blowout. Instead, the Saints scored 26 points. 7 of those points came from a turnover. By the way, a turnover where the Giants were in their territory, inside the 10. The Giants was inside the 10. So they were about to score either field goal or touchdown, probably touchdown. They were about to score. And then it was a fumble that got returned for a touchdown. That was their 26 points. You don't believe me? I got up the drives. I got up the scoring drives. Right? Their first scoring drive was 14 plays, 70 yards. They got a field goal out of it. The defense held. Their second drive was 12 plays, 49 yards. That was, by the way, that was at both of those came after touchdowns by the Giants. The second drive, 12 plays, 49 yards. That was a 53 yards field goal, right? Their third touchdown was a bomb. The third touchdown was a bomb, right? The third touchdown was after a 5-play punt away and then a bomb that happened because Tyler Nubin doesn't know how to play over the top. Somebody in the comments in my last thing, in my live halftime show, by the way, I will be live at halftime tonight in this Giants Eagles game. So look for me there. I will be live at halftime. Somebody asked me, what do I mean when I talk about second level, third level safety? Well, the strong safety what a second level safety is, a strong safety used to be the guy who doesn't really play much at the third level. He doesn't play the back half. He's really more of a linebacker with coverage skills. That's what the strong safety used to be. The linebacker with coverage skills, right? So anytime you had to bring an eighth man into the box, you were bringing a strong safety in because that's where he played the best anyway. That's what I mean by second level safety. The Giants have Tyler Nubin, who's a second level safety. They have Dane Belton, who's a second level safety. And they have Javon Holland, who has the athleticism to be a third level safety, but seems to operate better at the second level. They don't have a ball hawk in the back who's able to cover range, understand how to play deep passes, and they don't have that guy on a regular basis. Tyler Nubin's not him. He's a second level safety. He's really good. Dane Belton's really good at the second level, not so much at the third level. But that touchdown to Rashid Shaheed came on what should have been coverage over the top, and at worst, a tackle by Tyler Nubin. Their third drive, 6 plays, 49 yards, a missed field goal. Sorry, their fourth drive. Not even fourth drive, fifth drive, excuse me. The fumble happens, right? The Slayton fumble happens. At the time that the Slayton fumble happened, it was 14-13. That the defense held 8 plays, 30 yards, they kick a field goal. It's 16-14. So that Slayton fumble only cost the team 3 points on the board. And because of where they are, legitimately was a 6-point swing because it took a potential field goal from New York off the board and put one on the board for the Saints. The next drive was the fumble, right? It was the fumble by Dart. Who knows what he was doing? The defense still held 10 plays, 45 yards, kicked the field goal. It is 19-14 when the fumble returned for a touchdown. The legitimate 14-point swing, it was there where it happened. The Saints went up 26-14. It should have been 21-19 New York. Then, on the heels of the fumble return for the touchdown, we got an interception because Jackson Dart got greedy and tried to throw the ball downfield on fourth down to Jalen Hyatt, who has not come up with a deep shot reception in 2 years, really. Like, not since his rookie year. Even after that interception, the Saints punt because the Giants hold. The Giants once again throw another interception. The Saints drive it only to miss a field goal. And then the Giants go turnover on downs because they can't pick up. Like the embarrassment is in the fact that even with 5 turnovers, the Giants still had an opportunity to win that game. So why are we acting as if this team is inept of talent? They held the Saints to 19 points of offense. They held the Saints to 19 points of offense. And of that 19 points, a couple field goals came off of, well, one field goal came because of a turnover, put them in position. The touchdown was a blown play. And then the other two, that's it. Why are we sitting and acting as if the Giants went out there and just laid an egg? They were terrible the entire time. Those first 2 drives looked phenomenal. Dart still ran around well. It got a little tricky when Slayton went down because they didn't have a whole lot of wide receivers, but that's what happens when the game plan is to feature the tight ends, not feature the wide receivers. Oh, well, why didn't you have more wide receivers? I told you we should have activated more wide receivers. Who? You just told us Bo Collins sucks. Now y'all want them to go and find someone on someone else's practice roster, come in on a short week on a Thursday to play in a game versus the Eagles? I'm not overreacting to that loss. It doesn't mean everything is horrible. Jackson Dart played poorly after those 2 touchdowns. The defense played great, except for the one play. That's it, right? Except for the one play, they didn't play great. And if you know that, and if you know that they didn't play great, except for the one play, why are we trying to act as if it's a big deal? Why are we trying to act as if everything is bad and everything is wrong with this team? That this team can't be successful at all? Why are we trying to act as if everybody is horrible? The Saints have played well versus every team. I told you guys it wasn't going to be a walk in the park. So if you turn the ball over 5 times, of course you're going to lose. If they don't turn the ball over 5 times, this is probably a 14 to 21 point win for the Giants. If they don't turn the ball over 5 times, we don't have to make it something that it's not. That's all. And now, tonight against the Eagles, don't go and try to be something new, be something different. Do the same things you've been doing. Lean in on the run game. Target your tight ends. Allow your quarterback to be a +1 in the run game. You don't have to take unnecessary shots to people who haven't proven they can catch balls when they're contested, or that they're going to fight for a pass for you. Jalen Hyatt has not proven that he's going to fight for the ball. He's proven he's going to try to draw a pass interference. And you cannot bet on that because he has no cachet in this league. Go out there and you have to find a way to stop the running attack. You have to find a way to stop them from running the ball, because if you do, then you have an opportunity for success. All of the stuff. Oh man, Deonte Banks is terrible. How? What in the Saints game made you say he's terrible? Y'all, people pointed out that he didn't block for the dude on the kickoff return because he got confused. Nobody brought up the kickoff return that he had where he almost broke it for a touchdown. You're just trying to find reasons to hate people on your own team. I don't understand it. I don't. Hey, I'm looking forward to the game tonight. I want to see how the Giants bounce back in a short week against a really good team that's pissed off that they lost. I hope you guys are as well. Make sure you go over to New York Giants on SI. Check out everything that we're doing on there. All of our breakdowns, everything we're going to have for you tonight for the game. Make sure you're checking it out. Make sure you catch me at halftime of the game. I will be on at halftime live right here on YouTube. You can probably catch me on X as well. Definitely do that. And subscribe. Subscribe. Until next time, I'm Coach Gene Clemons, and I have a giant issue.